Living inside Margaret Atwood's words, just them in your mouth, is challenging. It's enriching. It's frustrating. It's funny. You know, I find her very, very funny, and it's a trip. The play to me is really trippy. There's something about the fact that the title of the play too is really almost, there's an absurdity to the title of this play. You know, whether it's the Penelopiad or the Penelopiad. And the reason for that is that the play is fun and it's absurd, and it's not this sort of stoic, traditional representation of Greek mythology and this understanding. What Margaret is playing, she's toying with us. She's at times poking fun, and that's what we get to do in this play a lot. It's not. She's taking the structure of something classical, and then it's being turned on its head. You know, I feel like the other title for this play could be Penelope in Wonderland, to be honest. I feel so incredibly grateful. I have an incredibly strong group of actors that have come together, with Shauna McKenna at the helm, which is in itself tremendously powerful in this piece because of everything she brings of her experience. And I think we're in a really interesting time right now in the world, and there's been a lot of changes very rapidly that have happened since my first introduction to the play. There's been a language that has brought up a conversation that people like Margaret Atwood have had to fight for years. We can't really forget that within Margaret Atwood's lifetime, the changes that have happened are huge. And I think particularly for young people, and that's why knowing our history is so important, because there are rights that we fundamentally have that we didn't always have, and we haven't had them that long. We have to know where we've come from and why we're here for us to make an educated understanding of how to make change. I grew up in a theater family, so the theater is as an art form, as a place of communal voice, as a place to tell stories, is really important. I think it's more important now than it ever has been. A physical experience of being with one another, sitting and telling and storytelling. I think, you know, we have to. It's not antiquated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's actually really critical that younger voices, younger minds come and see this, because it's a phenomenal way communally to pass an idea around. It's such an incredibly beautiful theater. When I knew that I was going to do the play and I came back to sit in the theater is how old? It's over 100 years old. It is such an exquisitely beautiful space. And it's a very old school space. It's a proscenium. There's red velvet, the chairs. It's got this incredibly gilded, beautiful paintings above the theater. You are very much in an experience of what it was like and what it meant to go to the theater, the pageantry around going to the theater. So then what's kind of fun and twisting it on its head is this contemporary reimagining of something old in an old space, but with new ideas. And that's been the challenge, but it's been a really invigorating, engaging challenge to go, how do we bring this story to life in this space? When I did it, we were in a very different space. So to me, I've had to take my mind out of that space. That told one story. This is telling this story in another space.